Managing the amount of fresh air is a major energy efficiency strategy, but of course it also has major health implications. We need to provide the right amount of fresh air at the right time when building occupants need it. There are three fundamental reasons why we need to introduce fresh air. The first is to supply oxygen and remove the exhaled CO2 from occupants indoors. The second is to remove the chemical toxicants that off-gas from our indoor spaces, whether that be from furniture or carpets or paints or even our clothing. And then the third is what comes off of people. People, of course, emit some chemicals, but I think in the pandemic age, we are all very aware of the microbial population that we emit and making sure that we remove potential pathogens from indoor spaces that are brought there by people. Central ventilation systems are very common because you can manage one piece of equipment in one location. However, they often have to be either on or off, and the whole building needs to be on or off. Therefore, if just a portion of the building is being used, you may be wasting a lot of energy in supplying fresh air to places that don't need very much or any at all. So a building owner or operator might consider a distributed ventilation system as having some advantages from an energy efficiency standpoint and potentially from a health standpoint as well. Distributed ventilation inherently needs to be operated only when that zone is occupied or that room. And therefore there are lots of periods of time when the ventilation system needs to operate at either a very low level or off, depending on the building type. You are making smaller shared air spaces. And in the pandemic era, we're all incredibly aware of the challenge of shared air spaces indoors and the risk of pathogen transmission. And by distributing your ventilation sources and not recirculating air from rooms back to a central system, there's less mixing across the whole building, and therefore possibly reducing the number of people that could be exposed if one individual in a building is infected. There are two caveats that I think need to be raised about distributed ventilation. One is from a maintenance standpoint. Inherently, you have more units in more rooms and therefore more locations that you need to perform maintenance. And then the second is, if it's not done properly, distributed ventilation could deliver fundamentally lower fresh air volumes.